Hey everyone, welcome back to Pretending with Dice. As always, I'm your host and game master, AJ. As we're still in the run-up to it, I wanted to once again remind everyone that we're going to be back in London on Saturday, November 30th for Dragon Meet. Super excited to once again be back in the podcast zone alongside some other amazing TTRPG pods. So what I thought I'd do today is give you all just a quick rundown of who else is going to be there in the zone with us, as it's such a stacked lineup this year. There's quite a few shows, so I'll be going through them quickly and alphabetically to give you just a little taste of what to expect on the day. So yeah, we've got a Game of One's Own, a Rendezvous with Destiny, Deck of Many Aces, Dice with Death, Effect, Final Boss Fight, Modified Roll, No Small Rolls, our friends in Penance RPG, Tales on Tap, the Apocalypse Players, the Billowing Hilltop, the D20 Future Show, the Danger Club Podcast, the DM's Book Club, the Transmissions RPG, Tumble Through, We Fix Space Junk, and finally, What Am I Rolling? So yeah, as I say, I think you'll all agree with me, that's an incredible gathering this year, and yeah, we couldn't be happier to once again be part of it. As I said before, Dragon Meet is on Saturday, November 30th in the Novotel London West in Hammersmith. It'd be super great to see a bunch of you there again, so yeah, we'll see you on the day. Alright then, so I think, without any further ado, it's time to get into today's episode. Remnants Part 3. Enjoy. A tense silence permeates over the mineral survey site. Each member of the Starfleet away team frozen in place, eyes locked on the imposing interloper which has appeared atop the nearby ridgeline. Its bulky armoured form stands over 7 feet in height, fully enclosed in metallic armour plating, its contents inscrutable. An upright torso sports wide shoulders. A pair of arms ending in mechanised manipulator claws clutch a hefty implement of some sort, its purpose unknowable at this point. The head is hidden behind a faceless mask of metal, supported low on the shoulders by a thick neck, if the armour is a true representation of the being within. The body curves away behind and below it, supported by 4 legs in a wide, alert stance, seemingly primed to leap into action at the slightest provocation.
Is it kind of arachnid style, or is it more like a kind of centaur type looking thing?
In posture, actually, I guess kind of more like a centaur type thing.
Right, okay.
It's not a centaur, but it's in that kind of like upper body with arms and then a lower body with 4 legs. In the vaguest possible terms, yes, but it's
it's not a squat looking semi-mechanical creature is what I'm going for.
No, it's I mean, it's tough to kind of get an idea really of what its actual body is like, because this is, like I say, quite a bulky kind of armoured form here. You just know from what you can see at the moment that the figure that, whether it's just the armour, whether it's the full shape of this thing's body or not, 2 upper arms, 4 lower legs. That's all you can really sort of tell through the body of the armour. And I'd say between 7 and 8 feet tall. The armour looks to be metallic of a sort. You can't tell just visually what it's exactly made of. I think you can't help but kind of see your vision can't help but be like drawn to the evaporation of water coming off of it. So it's like it's kind of just... It's just been doused with something and then that is quickly evaporating off of itself. As you watch, there is a sort of vent on the top, which is occasionally sort of spitting out little sprays of water over it. Rebecca has her phaser rifle raised and pointed directly at it.
Sir, what do we do?
Keep your eyes trained on it, but don't fire unless I give the order. And as I say that, I very slowly take a tricorder and I attempt to try and get a reading from whatever this thing is.
Okay.
I'm fully aware that it might be too far away, but I'm going to try it anyway.
It is about 40 feet from you. I say it's kind of at the top of the ridge. Your tricorder, so you're having to kind of reach to get it. I don't think it was in your hands. Or was it in your hands?
No, it's not at that point, no, because I was...
You had used it to do a scan, but then you'd put it away when you took the call from Murphy.
I took the call. I took the call, put it away, and walked away.
I'd imagine when you went to go see Bereka, you weren't like wandering around, hands full and that.
No, so it is holstered on my belt at the moment.
Right. Are you moving towards it as you go to make this move, or are you...
I'm standing still.
Okay. Well, what are you kind of... Are you trying to sort of slyly... what I'm asking... You know what I'm asking here. How are you pulling this out and doing it?
I'm doing it slowly. I'm not doing it too quickly, too suddenly. To call... Like, no sharp movement that might elicit a response.
Right.
So, very slowly put my left hand down. I grab the tricorder, I slowly pull it up, bring it to my chest, flip it open. I don't flip it open, but I open it carefully. And then I just start letting it do its beepy thing.
Okay, can I get... I think... Because you're trying to sort of do this subtly and non-threateningly,
non-aggressively.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, can I get a control security check from you? I'm sort of looking at... I'm going between control and presence here, but like, you're not... Presence, because it's kind of like you're trying to put forward like a... you're trying to put out a vibe kind of thing, but also control because you kind of have, enough control over your actions to be like, okay, I'll just do this subtly, So I think we'll go with control security, difficulty 2.
Okay. 18 and 6.
Okay. Okay, so that's only one of the 2 successes you needed there.
Yeah.
I think you're able to kind of get it from your belt, like at least casually kind of put your hand down to your belt without any reaction, but when you start bringing your hands up, sort of holding it, what you can only assume might be the head kind of snaps directly to you, staring straight at you, and it sort of not rears up, but it's like it sort of like pushes itself backward slightly. As it does, it raises the mechanical implement in its claws just sort of in front of its body, and I guess kind of a protective stance.
Easy. Just gonna do a little scan. I'm keeping my eyes locked on it and just doing the inputs to get a scan running. Or attempt to get it running. Again, it might be too far away for the scanner to reach. The tricorder to pick up anything.
Okay. I think, can I get a reason science check from you then? Difficulty 2.
Oh, that is not good.
No, 18 and 16, you were looking for 17 or under.
Yeah.
You, your fingers, again, you sort of notice this thing staring at you, I think, and then as you go to start the scan, the tricorder does its usual kind of low-level beeping, so the scan is started, but as you press it, it's watching you so intently. As it sort of sees you press down on the tricorder, it rears up once again and runs away from you all. It is out of sight as it is run over the ridge directly away from you all. Your tricorder, as you look down, had briefly registered processed titanium.
Not much data to go on. Processed titanium. Either that's heavily armoured or it's actually fully part machine, part organic.
So as the thing has disappeared over the ridge as well, Carson is now sort of leaning a little heavily on his laser, his core thing, and he's sort of looking back and forth between all of you as well. Like,
wasn't expecting that.
Don't think any of us were.
Baraka turns to you. So,
What should we do, sir? Should we go after it?
Have we got a second phaser rifle on the runabout?
Yes, sir. I brought spares.
Right. Let me fetch one. You and I'll go up and look for it on the ridge. As I turn around to go and get it, I initiate another communication to Murphy.
okay.
Right to Murphy.
Go for Murphy.
We just had an unusual visitor to our dig site. A weird-looking, I don't know, either some kind of half arachnid or half horse creature covered in what the tricorder is telling me is processed titanium. I didn't get much more data than that before it ran off. Baraka and I are going to go and see where it's headed off to. Can you just confirm if you've seen anything matching that description where you are?
No. We didn't get anything like that, but we did have these worm-like creatures earlier, like I told you, but nothing like that.
Nothing roughly 8 foot tall with legs, coated in armor?
Armor?
Well, that's the only thing I can guess. If it's not part synthetic, part organic, it's got some heavy armor on it.
Might be an exosuit of their own, perhaps?
It's possible. Either way, like I say, Baraka and I are going to go and look for it, see if we can find a trail. Just thought I'd let you know to be on the lookout.
Alright. Keep an eye out, though. Don't get yourself into anything too crazy. We're too far away. It'll take us a little bit to get there.
Understood. If we find anything, we'll report in. Ray out. And with that, I grab a phaser rifle. I check that it's functioning. I'm ready, Baraka. Let's go.
She's up on the ridge at this point, and she sort of shouts down to you.
Hurry, sir. It's getting away.
What part of wait for me didn't you understand?
She's waiting. She's just at the top of the ridge, and she's like looking, and she's like gestures. Come on! She's giving you the whole kind of beckoning
She's
you up.
scouting.
Yeah.
Like a good security officer.
I'm starting to think Johnny isn't the only overexcitable ensign. And I start hurrying up the ridge.
Okay. What's Pherea doing during all this? Real quick. Well, what are you doing with the rest of your team? If it's just you and Baraka, I should say, actually.
Okay. As I'm running to the ridge, Pherea, while I'm gone, you're in charge of the dig.
I'm in charge?
You'll be fine. Just make sure you all stick to your assignments and you've got your weapons on stun in case anything else like that decides to show up. Baraka and I will try not to be too long. Understood?
Her face is going to pale slightly, but she's going to put on a brave looking nod.
Sir, I'll do my best.
I know you will. We'll be back soon. And then I hurry up to join Baraka on the ridge.
Okay.
Sidebar, is she the
She's
highest?
the lowest ranked person there, yes.
I was about to say.
He has left you the ensign in charge of 2 lieutenants.
I'm trying. Ray's trying to juggle multiple things at once.
Yeah,
here. He's not caring about rank at this point.
It's fine. Okay, so you and Baraka charge up the hill. Well, at least you charge up the hill to join Baraka.
There, sir. Look.
The thing has put on quite a burst of speed. It's actually put quite a bit of distance between you and it, but it seems to be kind of beelining for the edge of the canyon wall, the cliff sort of top. I mean, heading for the water.
Can we see like a clear footprint trail of any kind to ascertain exactly what this thing is walking like?
Yeah, I don't think I need you to do a check for this because it wasn't exactly like covering its tracks or anything. You can definitely see where it's gone. It's, as I say, it seems to be sort of sprinting away from you as quickly as it can. The question here then, I mean, you can definitely follow a trail, yeah. In terms of like figuring out like what its walking pattern is, I mean, is that something that would be in Ray's kind of basic knowledge? I mean, I feel like that would take that would take longer analysis than you've probably.
I'm more kind of just interested in the kind of footprints it's leaving, because looking at it from where it's up on the ridgeline down below, I could see it had like more legs than a humanoid creature would, but I couldn't tell if it was arachnid in nature, if it was bipedal, if it was four-legged or whatever.
What kind of footprints is it leaving then, really?
Yeah,
what you're asking. Okay.
Exactly. And also how heavy they are, because if it's armoured, in theory, they'd be quite an indent, unless they're acclimatized to the gravity. Okay,
I think for this then I probably will need a check, because this is kind of like how can you, because it's rather than just like looking for the trail, you're looking, you're kind of trying to have a look. And actually you have xenobiology as your focus here, so this might apply here. So this would increase your critical range to 5, so anything 5 and below you would get a crit on here. So I think this is a reason science check from you, as you sort of crouch down to check out the closest set of tracks. Difficulty 2.
7 and a 1.
Okay, so the 1 there gives you... Well, it's a crit anyway, even without your thing, but that is 3 successes on that, so it does seem that it's leaving a pretty heavy indent with each footstep, so you could sort of extrapolate from that, this thing is pretty heavy. The footprints themselves aren't wide at all, and it's not really leaving like a footprint with like noticeable toes and things like that. It's more like it's on like points, like the legs are ending in a point, and it's rather than a foot, if that makes sense.
Okay.
That of course is going to add to the indentation, because obviously if it's ending in a point, there's more pressure in one spot rather than spread across like a foot pad. But yeah.
So while they're not wide footprints, they are potentially deep.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, deeper than you'd expect.
So a combination of like the general like more pressure in one spot, and also like you've seen that it's got like some kind of armored suit thing on, so that could be adding to the weight.
Okay. So he looks at these indents. Interesting. Ending in a point. Could be dealing with something arachnid or insectoid in design. Mechanical spider. Oh, I hope not. He looks at Baraka.
I'm not afraid of arachnids, Commander.
No, neither am I. They're just... well, they're a bit ugly. If I'm perfectly honest with you. Whatever this thing is, it's definitely heavy. Okay, look, let's get after it.
Okay. Are you running?
Yeah, we're running.
Okay, so the pair of you set off after it down the hill. I think you've got a pretty clear view as you're heading down the hill of like it's not out of sight. This is... You kind of came up to a ridge line to follow it, but now that you've over the ridge, you've not really got an obstructed view pretty much all the way to the cliff edge. So you were able to kind of keep it in sight, and it is outpacing you still. And as you're kind of, I guess you're probably halfway to the cliff edge from the site when it reaches the cliff edge, and you watch as it doesn't stop. You see this thing clutch its mechanical implement to its chest once again as it reaches the edge, and kind of dive forward with its legs kind of splayed out behind it as it drops from your view below the cliff line.
Did it just jump?
I believe so, Commander.
Let's get a bit closer. Proceed with caution.
I think it takes you another 30 seconds to a minute to get to the cliff edge.
So I think as we approach the cliff edge, I signal with my hand to Baraka to go off to the right of me, and then I step over to the left. So in my view, we are in front of where it was when it jumped.
Yep.
But we're basically going either side of that point so we can kind of look over the side without looking directly below.
Yeah, you don't want to look directly down. Okay.
Just in case there's something.
Some kind of jump scare or something.
Yeah.
Baraka gives you a nod as you give this hand signal, and sort of loops around to the right a little bit. Are you just sticking your head straight over? What are you doing here? Tell me what you're doing. Describe what you do as you approach the edge.
So, as I get to the edge, I get down onto one knee, and I look to Baraka and I signal with my fingers, 3, 2, 1, and then I point towards the cliff edge, and we both, at that point, lean over in unison and see what we can see.
Okay. Where are you looking straight away?
So we're looking over the very edge of the cliff, and we're leaning out so that we can actually see part of the drop, and doing as best as we can to see the actual inside of the cliff edge from where the creature dropped down. Essentially, I'm checking to see if it has actually taken a dive or if it's just clinging to the cliffside.
Okay. As you lean over, you look down, and in the water below you, it's about 100 feet drop down to the surface. Just slipping below the surface is this hulking form. You wonder you wonder if it is, damaged or anything, but then it kicks its legs and quickly moves away underwater.
Okay. At this point, I pull the tricorder out, quick motion, and try and get another scan. Okay, it's definitely further away than it was earlier, but I'm going to try it anyway.
Okay. Can I get a reason science check from you? I think difficulty 3.
11 and a 2.
And a 2. Okay. I don't know if any of your focuses apply here.
I don't think they do.
Cybernetics, xenobiology, anthropology, the Borg, reverse engineering. I don't think, because this
would probably be Xeno, but you're just trying
to get a scan. Yeah. It's not really so much as
It's not a specific thing, it's just me trying to get a scan.
No, you're trying to get a scan at a distance here, and I don't think your focuses really apply here.
No.
So yeah, unfortunately, your tricorder is picking up the water and not much else.
Damn. Too far out of range. Well, we do know one more thing about it. It's perfectly fine with the water. Come on, Baraka, let's get back to the dig site.
Okay, she stands up.
Yeah, we start walking away.
All right.
At this point, I will send another communication. Ray to Murphy.
Go for Murphy.
We almost caught up with the creature, but then it took a dive into the ocean.
Wow, that's going to scupper your progress, isn't it?
Just a tad. I did try for another scan, but I couldn't get much more data. Although, I've got a feeling that whatever this thing is, it might be perfectly comfortable under the water as opposed to being up on land. At first we thought it had taken a leap out of fear of us and killed itself, or damaged itself some way, but then it started kicking its legs and it swam away under the surface. We might be dealing with a new marine creature.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Well, I suggest you keep Baraka trained on the horizon while you guys do your scans and any experiments you're going to run. But I would make it fast. I don't think we should really linger too much.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel the same way. We're heading back to the dig site now. We'll let you know when we're finished. Ray out.
Okay. I think at this point I want to cut back to the other team. So, Murphy, this is your third call from Ray in the course of about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Between the first and second calls, the first one where where you spoke to him and said, be careful, it was followed probably less than a minute later by his, we've just seen the thing, I'm going after it with a gun. Maybe a little bit more than that, actually, because he had time to walk over and speak to Baraka. But it was still, this was all happened fairly quickly after, you guys are still pretty much in the aftermath of your own combat here. The captain has pretty much only just beamed away. As you look around after this third call, I think, Fel has composed herself a little bit better. She was a little bit stressed after the combat, but she is on the communicator herself, and you sort of catch the end of a conversation where she's clearly talking to her team up on the ship, saying,
Okay, I want a level 5 force field ready in the main biolab. I'm going to beam up a stunned sample, and I don't want it getting out. This thing's pretty nasty. Took a bit of a nip on the captain, so maybe we will just... We'll warn him before we bring him down to show him our findings. Anyway, I'm going to be beaming this... Yeah, 2 seconds. Yes?
You better not be doing what I think you're doing.
I am collecting a sample.
A live creature is not a sample. Especially one that's taken a chunk out of the cabin. And especially not on his orders.
We're putting in a force field. It'd be perfectly safe.
I'm not having a creature of unknown origin running around my ship.
We let Ray run around the ship.
Ray's at least house trained.
What the frack?
But seriously, though, we need to study these things. We need to know how they survived in this atmosphere.
Yeah, and we can do that after we ask the captain.
Fine, okay. Let me just stand my team down.
she kind of leans back into her badge.
Put it on the back burner, guys. We've got to get permission. Hey, I'll call you back. Fell out.
Murphy's like full on glaring. Like her death glare is on. She's like, you're not taking something without the captain knowing on the ship where I have this. I'm the security boss. Not a chance. No. We all know what happens. That's how you get ants.
But do you want me to call the captain?
Yes, I do.
Fine. Lieutenant Commander Fell to Captain Collins.
There's a brief pause.
Collins here. What can I do for you, Commander? Is everything all right down there? No, Commander, Murphy is, impeding my sample collection.
Captain, that is not what I'm doing.
I want to bring one of the worms up for study, Captain. It would be helpful to know how they survived, and well, if there's any, kind of subtle venoms or anything in its bite, it would be good to have one at hand in case. We want to study it.
There's a long pause.
I imagine so.
Fine, but let me be clear. I want full quarantine and security handling for this thing. We know they're dangerous already. I don't want anyone else in harm's way.
Sir, I suggest we lock it down in a secure area and lock down an entire deck. If we're going to do this, that would be my suggestion, sir. Just for safety.
Yes, I'll defer to your expertise in this, Murphy. Whatever you feel is necessary. Safety first.
You can still hear the kind of wince in his voice a little bit, because 10 minutes ago he was bitten by one of these things. I
mean, from that, we should at least have a sample.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I don't think Fell's wrong. It's just like you didn't realize she was immediately going to go into like, right, let's get this thing upstairs kind of mode.
Just like, just alien it. Alien it. Just sneak it on board.
Look, you've got to understand, this thing represents a certain monetary investment for the Wayland Yutani Corporation.
And possibly the Ferengi, if they get wind of it.
All right, then. I want all possible safety measures in place before you beam anything up. Before you hear me, Fel.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. All right. Stay safe down there, everybody. Collins out. All right. Can I continue my work?
One moment.
She's going to tap her combat.
Murphy to Soda.
Hey, how's it going on down there?
Interesting. Lieutenant Commander Fell wants to bring a creature on board. Alive. Stunned, but alive. I need you to clear a deck and a secure area and work alongside their team to make sure that nothing gets out.
Whole deck. Oof, okay.
There have been a few nasty surprises on this mission, so I don't want to take any chances.
Sure, yeah, I get that. Okay, well, we'll clear the deck where the main biolabs are, I guess.
Fel, is that good for you?
That works for me, yeah.
All right. Coordinate the two teams together. Let us know when you're ready for transport.
Okay. I'll get that sorted, and, yeah. See you when you get back.
Thanks, Soda. Murphy out.
Fella's turned back to the creature and is like making sure it's still stunned, because these things are basically only still stunned from your faces when you were fighting them.
Yeah.
You see, she has opened up like a sample collection kit on her back, and like she had like a working kit with her, and is sort of I guess not like restraining it, but like sort of like setting up.
Do we have like like a containment field maybe?
Yeah, she's setting up like a temporary kind of, not like a cage, but I guess kind of like a force field generator around it that is, it, you know, she's not like actually being reckless. She just didn't think to ask you to, you know, do it, if that makes sense.
How long has Fel been on the ship?
Like a few years.
Okay.
Like she's like the head of biosciences. She is the second in command of the science division. She's not like an ensign.
I'm wondering how many times Murphy's had to like bust her for stuff like this, because no. Oh no.
Okay, so yeah, over the course of a few minutes, she gets this sort of temporary containment thing set up. I don't think we need to roleplay through all of the back and forth like conversations with the ship and that and everything about getting it like organized, but let's just say a few minutes later, this worm that she has been attending to dematerializes as it's beamed up to the ship, and Vel collapses down the temporary thing again and like puts it away and sort of dusts her hands off and goes,
right, what's next?
Who have we all got with us still?
So this group is
Ireela is still there.
Yeah,
Ireela is still there.
However, I am staying. I am not getting too close to that creature.
Yeah.
You do not need the medic on the team to be the one that's injured.
No, not again.
No.
No.
And we've got Bond and Johnny as well.
Yeah.
I think Johnny's just kind of scanning the area. He's on high alert, unsurprisingly.
Yeah, he's gone into security mode.
He's probably overheard Murphy and Ray's talk and kind of...
He's been pulling a face to the side of all of this. Concern and consternation as he's scanning the horizon, kind of thinking to himself, and you could probably read this on his face as much as anything else, it's like he's clearly not down with the idea of sending this up to the ship either.
Yeah. Murphy's going to share his look and be like, yeah, I know.
He'll give her a serious nod and look, and then give it the eagle eyes to the horizon.
I feel like maybe this is a fairly like common occurrence, the clash between security and science when it comes to like, we want to check this cool thing out without thinking there's that 750 people in like an enclosed environment. If this thing gets loose, you know, this could be a problem. And it maybe not just always Fel, but like, you know, in general the scientists are like, we want to do science stuff, and you're the ones who have to think about it and be like, there's quite a lot of danger things happening here, and
let's tinker with this thing that we barely know anything about, that could explode in our face or eat us.
I think while all this has been going on, Bond has been sort of taking scans of the area in a wider sort of pattern, because I think the whole kind of build up to when you were attacked was you were kind of picking up life readings in the area and movement and things, which has now sort of died down. Now all these things are kind of on the surface unconscious. They don't really seem to show any signs of like stirring just yet, so you know, I want to stress, I haven't got like a ticking clock here where I'm like, okay, when that hits 0, all these things are waking up and attacking again. I don't want to run the same combat again, like right after. In a non-spoilery way, you know.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
that's fair.
So yeah, these things are out. So, as I say, Bonch has kind of been sort of running scans of the area, and you just kind of hear him over the thinger.
That's new.
He sort of turns.
Commander, I think I might be picking up something.
Oh, what you got, Bonge?
I think it might be, I don't know, some kind of energy signature. All the way away towards the mountain.
How far?
Nearly a kilometer.
It's not too far. And I don't think we want to be around here when these things wake up.
Yeah, no argument from me.
Doc, how are you feeling?
I'm happy with whatever. The more information we can gather, the better. But I'd rather not have anyone injured.
I reckon we go for a short walk. Check out this signature that Bonge is tracking. And if anything else interesting looks out, then we'll have a look at that too. But, everybody on high alert. We've had a few surprises already. I'd like to leave this planet without any more. Nasty ones, of course. Good ones are welcome.
At least we know now that there's at least 2 potentially harmful forms of wildlife.
Yeah. I'd rather it was 0, but...
They'll announce themselves before we see them. That's my feeling. They seem to be, I don't know, not too stealthy. Keep the scans going.
Yeah, exactly. Alright. Check yourselves, check your equipment. We haven't got much stuff anyway, haven't we?
No, I don't. I think you've all still got everything on you. You haven't put any equipment down or anything as you've been going. I think everybody kind of brought like the sort of standard issue pack.
Yeah.
And Ireela brought like a med kit with her as well, and Fel's got her like sample containment thing, and Bond has got a few more engineering tools, but it's not like you brought down like crates of stuff that you're having to bring with you or anything. It was all like portable things kind of on you, if that makes sense.
All right, let's grab our gear and... Which direction, Bond?
He points towards the mountainside, which is sort of in the direction he's pointing. Like I say, nearly a kilometer. That's not going to put you within rock, but that is kind of, from where you're standing, the elevation starts going up quite quickly.
Okay. So we'll just take it easy then. Just
a nice little mountain hike.
Yep.
Everybody watch your feet. Nobody fall.
Okay, so that small group sets off. So I think we'll rejoin the mineral survey group just as Baraka and Rai make it back to the main site. I think as you approach, Carson looks up, turns back.
Hey, they're coming back, Ensign.
Ah, good.
Everyone okay?
Yep.
There have been no incidents while you were away, Commander.
Glad to hear it. We almost caught up with the creature, but then it took a dive off a cliff and into the ocean. Unfortunately, I couldn't get any more data from a tricorder scan. But at this point, I think it's safe to say that whatever that thing was, it's more at home under the waves than it is on land with humanoid creatures that it doesn't know or recognize. I think in the interest of safety, we should try and get through as many survey tasks as we can, pack up and head back to the ship. So, whatever you're working on at the moment, make that the last thing you work on. When everyone's finished, we'll get going.
Do you think this thing's coming back, sir?
At this point, I really don't know. Whatever that thing was, we seem to scare it more than antagonize it. So, it might see us as a threat and stay away, but it is also possible that it sees us as a threat and is going to get more of its kind.
Yeah, going to get some pals.
Precisely, Carson. But either way, it probably is not a good idea for us to outstay our welcome.
Sounds good, sir. We'll speed up.
Okay. If anyone needs assistance with what they're doing, I'll muck in. For the meantime, Baraka will remain on security patrol, just in case they come back. All right, people, let's get to it.
All right, so what are you doing while everybody's kind of finishing up their tasks? I think you were kind of overseeing at that point when it appeared, really, weren't you?
Well, yeah, I was overseeing. I was getting a few readings, just checking in with everybody initially to see what they were picking up from their scans and from their sample collections or anything. So at this point, I'm essentially doing the same thing again, but if anybody needs assistance with what they're doing, Ray would make himself available to step in and help. Anything to try and get things completed a bit quicker.
Sure, okay. I don't think I had like specific tasks for each of the people in mind. It was because we had it that like Carson was like he had a sort of laser sampler rig and he was taking various like samples. I think he's probably the most, because he's a geologist, he's probably the most, I don't want to say competent, but like he's able to, like you basically said finish up what you're doing and he's able to quickly just go around, just get a sample there, you know. I suppose everybody else would be like, okay, I have one thing I can complete in this time. He can maybe grab 2 more sets of samples.
Yeah, makes sense.
Other than that, though, I think, because you didn't really bring a lot of scientists down with you, did you? It was kind of a bit of a mixed group again for this initial one, so I think, yeah.
At this point, it was a case of the people we've got, they've been given a task to do, and then the real sciencey stuff will happen back on board ship with the various readings and samples that have been taken.
Yeah.
That's how it is in my brain.
Yeah.
So there's geological gathering of minerals, gathering of rocks. I'm guessing soil analysis.
Yeah.
And possibly a study of the erosion,
I think,
that's gone on in the area.
In general, your team hasn't been here very long, so I think rather than do a bunch of checks just to see how everybody does things, maybe it'd be a good idea to just do like a kind of representative check to sort of to give a vague sense of, like, in the grand scheme of how this has gone, this first trip, how well have you as a team sort of been able to gather things in this short, you know, because it's been cut short, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, we'll do a check, and like it can, depending on like the number of successes, it's going to be like, well, despite, it could either mean like, well, despite the you know, despite being cut short and the interruption, we've actually managed to get, you know, a fairly decent amount of useful stuff. To the other end of it would be like, well, we've got a few samples, but we're really going to need to go back to get like a proper picture of things, otherwise this is like not enough, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's a little bit of a spectrum there. I don't know. I mean, it almost seems cheating to use your reason science on that, to be honest, because you got to be 17 or under. But at the same time, like, you are leading the mission, so I don't know.
Can we combine a reason science check with a physical check?
Because that would be at least fitness science. I don't know.
I don't know. Because we're going from second edition, right? Is there anything in there about? Is there a check for physical use of actual tools rather than just doing a scan? You got Carson with his laser, so that's a physical thing.
I mean, that kind of stuff is like control, like so control rather than reason for that.
Control science.
Control science. Yeah, as a representative thing. Okay.
If that makes sense to you, then yeah.
It does, yeah,
maybe.
no, that sort of makes sense. I get it, but it's sort of like how we have it is this be like a representative thing for the group. Because this is a thing of like, well, this is not like a difficulty check here, because we're just looking for the number of successes we have.
Yeah.
I think we could do a control science check. Maybe now is the perfect time to spend that momentum point to gain an extra die.
I was thinking the same thing, oddly enough.
Yeah.
So
not to guide it. I mean, you don't have to. It's just I'm just thinking like this is like a flat check, and based on the number of successes you get, that's the better result here.
I think I'm going to use that momentum for this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that becomes 3d20.
That does. Yeah. Okay.
So I know this is technically. I mean, this is technically my away team's momentum, but are you guys all right with me spending it here?
Yeah, I am. I'm not fussed.
Cool. Okay, here we go.
13, a 7, and a 7. And you were aiming, if we did control science, wasn't it? So we were looking for 16
That's
or
right.
under. So yeah, that is 3 successes. Okay.
Booyah.
Yeah, I mean, other than getting crits, that's pretty much as good as you were going to get on that. So I think, how to say this narratively? I think, okay, we can put this down to, we've obviously done that as a check to sort of, you know, represent it to give a result. But I think we can call this almost like a sort of, in the face of what we've run into, taking into account all of the factors, including like, okay, you chose Carson for this, you brought the equipment down in the lab, you've quickly, you landed by the site. In the grand scheme of how this mission has gone, you got 3 successes. And so that's pretty good, kind of thing. It could be better if you'd have gotten crits, but other than that, it definitely could have been a lot worse. What this means in the grand scheme of things, I think I'm going to need some time to figure out, a thing, but then that makes sense anyway, because you'd have to take the stuff up and look at it anyway, just to see how good you've done.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
In a 3 success kind of way, your team competently finishes up their work, loads all the samples and things that you have been able to take onto the runabout, and prepares for liftoff.
Happy days.
Are you flying again?
Yes. Baraka is co-pilot again.
Yeah. I think I probably need to get a piloting check from you again then.
Yep, no trouble.
So this, I think, was Control Con.
Yeah.
To do a maneuver, Control Con is difficulty 0. So I guess you could roll it, and any successes you get will gain momentum if you want to do that.
All right.
No successes. Okay, right.
Okay.
You didn't get... Okay, the danger there was if you had rolled a 20, that would have been a complication. So...
Yeah, we just crashed
that was
straight
so
away.
close with a 19 and an 18 there. That's the gamble on a difficulty 0 check. It's okay, you don't technically have to roll it if you don't want to. You can gain some momentum. However, you can fail it.
Yeah. I'm kind of regretting using that momentum now on the other thing.
No, it's fine. Okay, you've safely taken off with no problems. I will say that's not not an issue. However, we'll put it down to
an issue. We'll put it down to atmospheric conditions. It's not the pilot's fault.
Yeah, he's not been shaken by the potential of armored aqua people, whatever.
Armored aqua arachnids. There you go.
Is that what we're going with? Okay. I'm not against it. That's
aqua arachnids. Try saying that 5 times over when you're drunk.
I might have to go to the shop if I haven't got any
waterproof spiders.
Oh, don't even joke.
As usual, we were falling into a tangent.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
Hey, you're the one who said this thing might be a spider, might be a centaur, so technically this all comes back to you.
I never used the word spider. You used the word centaur.
Always deflecting.
Also, I said 4 legs and 2 arms. So, anyway. Yeah, you successfully take off and leave the atmosphere, if a little bit wobbly to begin with. It's a little bit of a bumpy exit of the atmosphere, let's put it down to that, but no damage sustained or anything like that. And leaving the dusty atmosphere of the planet behind you, you are able to rejoin the ship in orbit, bringing your runabout smoothly back in to land in the Tenzing's main shuttle bay once again. While down on the planet, your comrades and the other away team continue their walk into the foothills of the mountain in search of Bonge's mysterious energy signature. Alright, that's going to do it for this episode. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time with the next chapter of Frontier on Thursday, November 21st, and we hope you'll all join us for that. In the meantime, you can head to pretendingwithdice.com for links to all of our online presences, including our Discord server, Ko-Fi page, merch store, and much, much more. So yeah, for now, that's our show. We hope you all enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.